So if you're switching from a console to a PC and you want to bring your controller over and be able to play on your smooth new PC with lower input lag and way more FPS with the controller, then this is the guide for you and for existing PC users that just want to have lower input lag on their controller. So by default, your controller is not at 1000 Hertz plugged into the PC. Wired or wireless, it's not going to be at 1000 Hertz. So this guide specifically is for wired controllers and for people that want to get maximum input delay reduction out of their controller. And Xbox controllers, this guide will not work, and frankly most guides out there will not work unless you purchase a new controller. And the reason for that is just because Xbox controllers are completely locked when it comes to overclocking. Even though the tool lets you technically overclock it and it technically works, if you check the polling rate on the actual controller, it's still at whatever the default is, which most likely for an Xbox controller it's either 250 Hz or 125 Hz, which is terrible, and it's still going to be a lot of input lag. So if you're on an Xbox controller, consider getting the Victrix gaming controller. It's also an Xbox layout, but they let you overclock it since they modded the controller. Otherwise, just go to a PS5 controller or PS4. But anyways, if you want a PS4 controller or a controller that is based on the PlayStation platform, then you can follow this video and you should be able to get a lot more out of your controller and a lot less input lag and faster mechanics. So if you go to the link in the description and go to the Google Drive link, you will be sent over to the controller low latency guide.zip file, and basically just download it. And then once you have it downloaded, all you're gonna do is gonna right click on this, click extract here, and it'll make this new folder right here. Double click on this, and basically we're gonna go to prep, and we're gonna prep our system in order to overclock the controller and make sure it works without any hiccups. So double click that, and the first thing we're gonna do is, and this is for both Windows 10 and for Windows 11, you're gonna double click on install certificate for overclocking to work, and you're gonna click install certificate. I would just do local machine, click next, and press finish, and then press OK and press OK. And then what this certificate does is basically it lets the driver work properly and it won't cause any issues, and it'll let you overclock perfectly fine. And then Windows 11 fix, this is only for Windows 11. So if you are on Windows 11 and you have secure boot enabled in BIOS, then 100% run this file. All you do is just double click on it, click yes, and then press OK. I don't really need to do this because I'm not on Windows 11 on this OS. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to go to check polling rate. And before we do anything, I just want to basically show you guys how your controller is actually being overclocked, just because some people think this doesn't actually work, even though you can easily test it just with this tool called input tester. So before we get started with checking it, you're just gonna double click on the Vision Bus installer, and you're gonna press next, you're gonna press accept, and then next again, and then install, and just press finish. And you do have to restart in order to do this, but we're not gonna restart yet. You're just gonna press no. We're gonna go to DS4 Windows, double click on ds4windows.exe. And by the way guys, this is not needed to use your controller. This is only to check the polling rate of your controller. So whenever we're done checking our polling rate, we're going to uninstall both of these programs because they're both unneeded. However, if you do like DS4 Windows for whatever reason, you can still use it, but I just highly recommend not you really using it. I'm going to go to profiles, and I'm going to click on default, click edit, and we're pretty much going to maximize this a little bit. We're going to go to other, and then we're going to make sure we turn on DS4 BT poll rate to max or 1000, and that should be it for this. You don't really have to do much else, and then you just press apply and then save, and you can just close out of this and just press yes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to restart our PC, and then we're going to use the X input tester to basically test if our polling rate is at the default. All right, so once you've restarted your computer, you're pretty much going to go to the controller low latency guide again. You're going to go to the check polling rate, and then you're going to go to DS4 Windows, and just open up DS4 Windows, and you're going to pretty much just wait for it. As you see, controller is using profile default. We're going to go back, we're going to go to X input tester, X input test 4000 samples.exe, and make sure you have your controller right next to you because you are going to be moving the joystick around consistently while this test is happening. So you're just going to double click on this, and then you're going to grab your controller and then just move the left stick around in a 360 motion. And as you can see, I'm getting about 4 milliseconds, which is probably like 250 Hertz or 125 Hertz. So just keep moving it around, keep moving it around. It's taking about 4000 samples, which is why it's taking forever, but just keep moving it around. And as you can see, it's telling us we're getting about 200 Hertz polling rate, which is probably 250 excluding the outliers. But yeah, so as you can see, that's stock without any overclock. So you can just press N and then press enter. But yeah, as you guys can see, that's pretty much stock PS4 controllers without any overclock. So now we're going to go back to the controller low latency guide. We're going to go to overclock. We're going to click on disable useless audio controller. And if you don't use the audio jack on your controller, then this is really helpful because it is pretty annoying that whenever you plug in your controller, just switches the audio to it. So go to to view, devices by connection, expand whichever USB controller you have. For me, it's Intel, just expand that. Find wireless controller with the audio icon, right click on it, click disable, and then your controller will, if you plug the controller in the same USB port, it won't switch to the audio jack on the controller. So that's really helpful and helps fix that annoying issue. And by the way, guys, if you do change the USB port, or if you do change your controller, then the overclock will probably go away. So if you have the same exact controller, so two different standard PS4 controllers, but you plug them in the same USB port, the overclock won't go away. But if you get a, for example, a PS5 controller that is a standard one, and then you get a DualSense Edge controller and you plug them in the same USB port, you are going to have to overclock the DualSense Edge again. But if you plug in a DualSense Edge controller, both of them into two different USB ports, you are going to have to overclock the one that isn't in the USB port there, that's overclocked. But anyways, you're going to go to HID USBF, you're going to double click setup.exe, choose all from the devices, find the one that child name says wireless controller, click on it, install service, filter on device, and then change default to 1000. Now for PS5 players, you're going to say 8000 or stuff above 1000. That doesn't work, and you can verify it with the X input test. It doesn't set your controller to 2000 hertz or 8000 hertz. Just don't do that. It's going to cause FPS drops because it's going to send your data more than one time instead of just sending it normally how it does on 1000 hertz. So just do 1000 hertz, click restart. And I know it says 4 for you PS5 players for beat interval. Just ignore that. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's restarting the controller right now. It's saying that it is still on the stock, so I'll restart it again. So if it's bugged out like this, just unplug your controller and then plug it back in. Some of you might have to do that in order for this to apply, and as you can see, it's now applied. So yeah, for B interval for PS4, it's gonna say at 1 just because it only has 1000 for the maximum. So anyways, just ignore that, guys. Again, PS5, just do 1000. Anything above that won't work. You can literally verify it with the X input tester. You're just reducing your FPS if you do it above 1000. And I know all these other guides tell you to do 8000. They just don't know that. But yeah, click close, go to overclock or go to controller lazy guide, go check polling rate again, go to X input tester, and then go to samples, and then just move your, again guys, move this very consistently, like same exact motion. Don't go too fast, don't go too slow, but same exact motion. I'm getting around 1 ms, which is basically what you want. I know the polling rate says 365, but that's because if you scroll up, I like stopped moving it consistently. So I'll try to get a consistent result here, but with 2000 samples, just because it's a little bit less. But yeah, I'll try to move this joystick around just like that. But as you can see, polling rate 976, basically 1000 hertz, and basically it's super stable. And yeah, that's basically the controller overclock. The PS4 is now overclocked, and I should be getting lower input lag. But yeah, again guys, if this really helped you, leave a like, comment down below if this really helped you. But yeah, you guys are pretty much good to go. You can close out of PS4 Windows, and you can literally go to settings, go to apps, and uninstall the Vision bus driver. You literally don't need this anymore. That was only just to test the X input tester, and without this it just doesn't work. So like if I try to run it now, as you can see, Xbox 360 controller not found. So that's the only reason we use PS4 Windows and the other one. So yeah, you guys are pretty much good to go. Hop in game, play with the controller, get lower input lag, edit faster, shoot faster, etc, etc. But yeah, hopefully it solved a lot of the headaches. I really had to make this video just because there's a lot of misinformation going around with the controllers, a lot of misconceptions, and just clearing them up over and over again was pretty annoying. So putting them all in one place is very helpful. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below what I should do next, and if you guys have any questions about controllers, leave it down below, especially you Xbox players, because you guys do cope a lot. I'm not gonna lie, you Xbox players, even though I tell you it doesn't work, you think, oh, I still feel a difference. That's placebo, buddy. You can test it with the X input tester. But yeah, if you guys want a full PC optimization service where you get 0 input delay and way more FPS in all of your games, go to the link in the description and book an optimization service. I've worked with your favorite professional players like Booga, for example. And pretty much, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.